Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Not a Nail Tech, I'm going to be trying to create some wood effect nails. So I'm starting off with chocolate ganache and I'm just going to pop a couple of layers of this on, make sure it's well cured before we get on to the next steps. As you can see, it's highly pigmented, so I could have probably got away with one coat, but I thought I'll pop a second one on just in case. Now that's cured for 60 seconds, I'm just going back in with Serious Black, and I'm using one of our Ombré effect brushes. And this is handy because it's quite spaced out at the end, so you can get that kind of streaky look if you need it. And I'm just wiping on a very small amount of Serious Black. So what I did was I popped this on one of our resin palettes and then just pressed our brush into it and then wiped most of it back off onto the palette. So first of all, I've just gone on and made the initial stripes, and then I'm going back in and pushing the product round to where I need the knots to be in the wood. It's a really easy effect, this, and I found it way easier than I anticipated. Next, I'm going in with top coat, and this is so we can buff off the top layer ready for doing some isolated chrome. So I've actually prepped 4 nails so I can show you what a set might look like and a little bit of variation on each one. Now that's cured, I'm just going to go back in with one of our buffing blocks and just make sure to evenly buff the whole nail and make sure it's well wiped off at the end. I'm just going to be using Serious Black, and I'm going to use this to map out the areas where I want the chrome. So on this nail, I'm just going to be doing a French tip. So I'm just marking out where I want that to end and the sides, and then I'm just going to line all of that up. And now I've got the smile line in place, I'm going to go in with the big brush from the gel polish and just fill in the rest of it. Now that's cured for 60 seconds. I'm going in with one of our chrome pens, and these are really handy if you're doing little segments rather than the full nail. I'm just going to be buffing that right in and making sure that all of the black gel polish is covered. And just buff off any of the excess chrome. I'm just going to pop on a layer of top coat, and you'll be able to see that wood effect come to life, and it should look just like a lacquered cabinet. Look how beautiful that is and how effective it is considering how simple the process was. So next, on another nail that I've prepped, I'm just going to be popping on a straight line, not completely down the middle, off centre a little bit, and this is going to show us the section for where our chrome's going to be. And I'm just filling that all in again with the big brush from the gel bottle. The next one, I'm just doing a diagonal line across the nail, and I find using a really long fine detail brush works really well for this, and then just fill that in again. And I'm just doing another French tip on this nail as well, so it'll kind of bookend the nail set. And I'm just filling that French tip in again. Now those have all cured for 60 seconds, I'm just going to be buffing that chrome pen into all of those black gel polish areas and just making sure that all of the dust is removed before we go in with any top coat. yeah, when you're going in with top coat over chrome, I always recommend doing 2 layers just to make sure that the chrome doesn't scratch because it is quite delicate. What I love about this wood effect is that every nail is going to be completely different. You're never going to get one exactly the same as another. And here's your reveal of the wood effect nails. Let me know what you think down below, but I'm pretty proud of these nails. I think they might be my favourite set I've ever created. If you want any of the products that we've used today, they'll be linked down below as well. And let us know what you'd like to see next. See you later.